Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got a debut on the channel today for Adem Jaziri. And this puzzle, which is called the L's, because I guess we've got all these L shapes in the grid. And this puzzle has been recommended to us a great deal, and apparently it is absolutely brilliant. And I suppose it's got big shoes to fill, because the last few days on the channel, I think there's an unprecedented run of utterly brilliant constructions from these amazing Sudoku makers that we get to experience every day. And in fact, let me just pop back to this thing that I attempted on the channel yesterday. Mark has since owned up to the fact that he did send me this as a joke. He assumed that I would open this and just turn off the video, which I very nearly did, but I'm quite relieved I didn't, because an hour or so later I did manage to solve this puzzle, which is called Self-Determination by Stefan Buehrer. But if you haven't had a go at this, or indeed you haven't watched the introduction to yesterday's video, it might be worth watching, because let's just say I was rather cross. It's a work of utter genius, this, as so many of you have been commenting, and yeah, definitely worth checking out. Other than that, what shall I tell you about the world of Sudoku? Let me think. Well, we streamed last night. Many of you joined us for that, which was a lot of fun. We're working our way through our 500,000 subscriber special app, which is available completely free. Just download it from your local friendly app store. There's an app called Cracking the Cryptic where you'll find it. We get how many puzzles? I think we only did 4 last night in about 2 hours, 15 minutes or something, but they were each and every one of them absolutely magnificent, and we've got about 10 left, so I think it's going to be 2 or 3 streams worth of content, and we're hoping to start again on Monday night at 10 o'clock UK time, so we'd love to have your company for that. And yeah, I might bring wine along on Monday, we'll see. Now, happy birthday. Today, Callum, you have turned 25, I believe. Your girlfriend Lucy let us know this. And well, Callum, I was rather nonplussed to hear that you're going to be having lots of tiramisu today rather than cake. But we certainly won't hold that mistake against you. And we hope you have a brilliant day. Other than that, some of you have been asking about my glasses. Yes, I did have an eye test earlier in the week. Yes, they did find that, especially at short distance, my vision needs correction more than it used to anyway. So I am getting new glasses, which should be here in a matter of days, at which point my scanning will be amazing. I can't tell you how good it's going to be, and that will be very, very good. Other than that, what else have we got over on Patreon? I need to draw the winner of the monthly reward for September. I haven't done that yet, so I'll try and remember to do that and announce it tomorrow. We should have the videos up for this month's reward, the solution guides, very soon. And just a heads up as to what we've got coming at the start of October, which is an incredible Sudoku hunt from the Sudoku Skunk Works. 14 puzzles, each themed around it's called duality, and basically each puzzle combines 2 rules in a novel and interesting way. A bit like, oh no, this puzzle's got 3 rules it's combining, so this would not be suitable for duality. But anyway, that's what we've got coming up at the start of October. It really is an amazing pack. Right, and that's all I've got to tell you, I think. So why don't we kick off, and I'll read you the rules of the L's. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So let's stop there. In Sudoku, so let's imagine this square was a 1. Now, if this was a chess knight, it could move to a variety of places, and what's more, it would not need to resign once it got there. So chess knight could jump to all of those cells, and therefore none of these cells in this Sudoku could contain a 1. We change this to a 2, none of these could be a 2, etc. So we can't have the same digit a knight's move away from itself. It's simply not allowed. It's not even a resignation matter. It's simply not allowed. What else? Digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So let's say we put 1 and I tried to type 5, managed to type 4, doesn't matter. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5, so you'd put 5 in the circle. That's how arrows work. And then one more rule, which is that each purple line contains a set of non-repeating consecutive digits, which can appear in any order. So imagine we worked out that this square here was a 9. Then we would know that these 3 digits, because we have to have a consecutive sequence on the purple line, these cells would have to be 6, 7 and 8. But unlike with thermometer shapes, we don't have to sort of increase along the line. We could muddle up the numbers. So something like that would be absolutely fine. Just make sure the digits are non-repeating and consecutive. And that's all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, let's just 1, 2, 3. Oh, these are 4 cell lines, aren't they? Right, okay, so that's not immediately useful. There are 9 Sudoku digits, so unfortunately, if this was 1 cell longer, if it was a 5 cell line, we would know it would have to have a 5 on it, but it just isn't. So it's probably not the L's that we start with here. We've got a very long... we've got a very long arrow, actually. There are 3 cells in box 9 that have to all be different numbers. Right, I can see a couple of things here. So let's imagine these were as low as we could possibly make them. They would be 1, 2 and 3 in some order. This digit, let's make that as low as we can make that. That could be a 1. So the absolute minimum value of this arrow is a 7. So it must be 7, 8 or 9. Now, the other thing to think about here is let's consider this foursome together. Now, is it possible... Oh, that's a terrible choice of colour. I can't see the line. Is it possible that all of these digits are different? Well, the answer to that is no, because if these were all different, they would be a minimum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which is 10, and you cannot put 10 into a Sudoku cell. So one of the digits here must repeat. And there's no prizes for concluding we can't repeat digits in box 9. So this digit must be repeated on this arrow. So that digit there has to repeat. And because of the knight's move constraint, it can't be here. It can't be here by Sudoku. So it repeats there. These 2 digits are the same, which strikes me as being probably important. Now, okay, well the minimum value of these cells would be a 1 and a 2, so we're sort of iterating our way around this. And therefore, that's 6, so these can't add up to more than 6. No, what did I say? 1 and 2? Did I just say 1 and 2 is equal to 6? That's because I was deducting it from 9. Without actually saying I was doing that. No, 1 plus 2 is 3, which means the maximum value of these cells is 6, which means they can't be more than double 3. So these cells are 1, 2 or 3. Now, can we do better than that with yellow in... No, or yellow in here? No, okay. Oh, actually, hang on a moment. Right. Let me look at this again, actually. Right. Good grief. Okay, so yellow is restricted in here. And it's restricted because yellow cannot go on this purple line. And that's because, imagine this was the lowest it could be, which would be 7. Well, that means that if we keep trying to make this line contain as low digits as we possibly can, it would be 7, 6, 5, 4. So it could have as low a digit as a 4 on it, but it definitely can't have a 1, 2 or 3. And now let's revisit this box and ask where yellow goes. Well, it's not here. It's not can't go on the purple line. It can't go there by knight's move, and it can't go there by knight's move. So yellow is in one of those 2 cells. And if yellow was here, it's very difficult for yellow to be here, because that would have to be a 3. This would have to be a 1, 2 pair. And that would have to, if yellow was 3, this would have to be a 1, 2 pair. Well, I mean, it would be very forcing for this to be a 3. Very forcing. can that be if that's yellow? No, actually that's not very helpful, is it? That's good grief, that's beautiful. Right, this is not yellow. I've just realised this is not yellow by Sudoku of all things, because if this was yellow, where does yellow go in this column, in box 2? Well, it can't repeat on its own Renban by the rules, or the purple line, by the rules of the purple line. And it can't go here because it would be a knight's move away from itself. So that cell is, you've guessed it, yellow. And that one is not yellow. So this is 1, 2 or 3. Now, hang on. Now, so yellow is in one of those cells. No, okay, so I don't know if we can improve on our yellowing of the grid, but we have got a bit of custard in there, haven't we? Right, okay, but now I'm going to ask where that digit goes in box 5. Because this thing about not being able to repeat a digit on the purple line is that's beautiful. Right, so this L shape here, we can ask where blue goes in this box, and it has to go there. It can't go here, it can't repeat on its purple line, and by knight's move it's not in those 2 squares, so it goes there, which means that is a 7, 8 or 9. Which okay, let's just propagate that in this box, because by Sudoku blue doesn't go there, by not repeating on its purple line it doesn't go there, and by knight's move it doesn't go there or there, so that's blue. Oh, this just keeps going. Oh, this is beautiful. What a lovely, lovely geometric pattern this is, because now where does blue go in this box? And it's the same logic. Can't go there by Sudoku, can't repeat on its line, can't go there by knight's move. And then it gets plonked onto another line here, which so it's like a cycle. This pattern of L's forces these cells to all be the same digit. Oh, this is lovely. Good Lord, Adam, this is lovely. Right, where does blue go in this box now? Now, it can't go here by knight's move, and it can't go on its own arrow, because that would imply these 2 cells and that one have to all be 0, which doesn't work. So it's forced into the bottom of the grid. Okay, and now where does it go in this box? You can see by Sudoku it's in one of these 3 and not in the bottom cell, and by knight's move it's ruled out of that one, so it goes there. So it's in one of these 3. That, not this one, because of the knight's move from this cell, so now it's in one of these 2. It's in, oh, can we do better than that? Maybe not. It's got to be in one of those 2 cells, look. It can't be here because of the knight's move constraint. Oh, no, that's good, that's fine, because now I can rule it out of this one. Because if it was here, you couldn't put blue at all in box 4, so that's not blue, which means this is blue, which means this is blue, which means that's not blue, and now I've got 4 blues looking at box 1, and that cell's blue. Good grief. That is incredibly clever and very surprising. So now we've got lots of 7, 8s and 9s in the grid. Oh, and I know what this is going to do. Oh, this is quality. This is quality, because now I'm going to revisit my yellowing. Because every one of these L's that has a 7, 8 or 9 on it cannot have a yellow on it. So now... Oh, no, okay, I thought that was going to be better than it was, but actually most of the cells that are on the L here have already been ruled out. That one can't be yellow. So yellow is in one of 3 places in box 6. Ordinarily, I wouldn't pencil mark that. If this was sort of a classic Sudoku, I wouldn't pencil mark a digit that could go in 3 cells. But in Knight's Moves puzzles, it's really, really useful. What about here? 3 again. Okay. What about... Oh, no, this one doesn't improve at all. It's all three of those. Ah, no, okay, so this is not actually quite as... It's not quite as potent as I thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, I thought I was sure that was going to do something then, but no. Maybe we've got to think harder about, yeah, well, that digit, where does that, yeah, because this L pattern must repeat for every, so these two cells must be locked into one cell in the boxes that they sort of perforate, because that digit, where does it go? Oh, I don't like that colour. I make it red. I don't really like that colour. I'll leave it as red. So this digit, where does it go in this box? Well, it can't repeat on its line. Those are Sudoku, so it goes in the corner, and that must be the same for this cell, which I'm more minded to make green because it's not bounded by two yellows. So that cell must go there. Now, yes, okay, and now green and red are different because they're in the same row. So I don't have to worry about green and red being the same. Green they both see yellow, so they're different from yellow. And they both see blue. So these are genuinely 4 different digits, these colours that I've got in the grid. And, okay, so maybe I've got to think harder about the end of this line, do I? So if these were double 1, which is the least they could be, and this was the most it could be, these would have to add up to 7 without using 1. Okay, so they could be as high as 5 then. 5 and 2 would be the most you could put in there. Okay, I don't really want to pencil mark a cell that can be one of 5 things. By the way, my favourite comment on was it my favourite comment? One of my favourite comments on last night's puzzle was somebody who wrote in that Mark would have pencil marked all of the cells with 1 to 9 apart from those in row 8 and column 4 or whatever it was, which I thought was quite funny and allowed me to have a small laugh at Mark's expense after he'd had a big laugh at mine. Okay, I'm stuck here. What could we look at next? It must be to do with... I feel like this cycle is really rather pretty. Is it to do with the fact I've got to now have a 6 in one of those cells, because whatever this is, it's sort of on the high side, isn't it? Even if it's 9, it's a length 4 purple line, so it's going to get down to 6. There's got to be a 6 in one of these. Okay, yes, actually, that is interesting. Right, there's got to be a 6 in one of those. But the same is true of this purple line. That's also got a blue digit on it, so that's got to have a 6 in, and that now can't be a 6. Because if it's a 6, it rules the 6 out of this purple line because of the knight's move constraint. So 6 is now horizontal over here. Yeah, this is doing something, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, okay, so on this line there's a 6 in one of these, and it's the same point. That one can't be a 6 because it would rule a 6 out of this one. So it's sort of cycling round. Oh, that can't be a 6 because that would rule both of those out. So now we've got 6s here, 6s here. And I bet you it's 6s here, isn't it? 6 has to be in one of those 3. It can't be here because of this 6. And look, this can't be a 6 because that would rule both of those out. So that's not a 6. Oh, this is so clever. So this is a 6, which means that's not a 6 because of the knight's move. So that's a 6, which means that's not a 6, which means this is a 6. And that's a 6. There we go. By Sudoku in this box. So now I've got a whole wealth of 6s on on my wheel that's going around this area here. So, right. Well, let's look at this line now, because this 6 is very interesting in the context of this line, which now cannot have a 6 on it. So that means that this line, which is length 4, has to be made up of the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it must have a 2, 3, and a 4 on it. And it must be made up of the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know I said I wasn't going to label that down here, but this feels more relevant. So I'm going to do it. No. Right, that digit's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's the same as this. Now what's that doing? A disappointingly small amount, I think. I've almost got some 1, 2, 3, 4s and 5s. Do I know? I was wondering which one of these, if any of them, are yellow, but I don't think there's enough coordination with the yellow edge on the right with the purple line on the left. I know that's not yellow. So if yellow is on the line, it's in one of those two positions. I don't know. Hang on a minute. Ooh. Okay, there's definitely something. Let's say ooh ah cantonar. There's something going on here actually. I might have broken this. Well, I am going to allege that blue is not 9 now. And that's because if blue is 9, those two squares are a 7-8 pair, but those are a 7-8 pair as well, and that's impossible because that one sees both of those, and that one sees both of those. Yes, okay, so I think, yeah, we've got a ring of these L's here, where the middle digits always see their neighbour's middle digits. So these two see those two and those two. Therefore, there is no digit in common between any adjacencies in this ring. So this is a 7, is what I can see from that. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but let me explain. If I make this even an 8, there now has to be a 7 in one of these because we need a digit between 6 and 8. Now, if there's a 7 on here, the point is there's got to be a 7 on, because 8 travels round the ring. There has to be a 7 in each of these little sort of parts of the wheel. And if there's a 7 in one of those, there cannot be a 7 in one of these, because how could there be? If this is 7, 7 can't go in either of those because of the knight's move. And if this is 7, it still can't go in either of those by the knight's move. So there is no digit in common between sort of these two cells and these two cells and these two cells and those two cells, which means this has to be 7. And then we can go high and low around the edge of this wheel. So those two squares now, whatever they are, let's make those grey. Shall I make them grey? I'll make them grey. And then whatever these are not, and these are not. Which means, and then whatever these are not. Yes, so we've got to be I'm not explaining this very well, I don't think, but this is 6 and 7. So imagine this was 8 and 9. Then this would have to be 4 and 5, because we need to keep them apart. And what we can't do is take, say, an 8 and a 5 here, because then one of these digits will be 8 or 5, and the puzzle will be broken. So what we need to do is sort of have a 4, 5, 6, 7 purple line, and then the next one will be a 6, 7, 8, 9 purple line, and then the next one will be a 4, 5, 6, 7 purple line, etc. And that I can resolve immediately because of this 7 arrow in box 5. And this is stunning. This is the sort of puzzle that I absolutely love, because I am so familiar with purple line logic, so-called Renban logic, with arrow logic, with Knight's Move puzzles logic. I've done so many puzzles with this rule set, and yet here is something new. It really is quality. So the question I want to ask is that 4, 5? And the answer is no, because then this 7 arrow has no way of being 7 in 2 cells. 1, 6, 2, 5 and 3, 4 all become impossible. So that's not 4, 5, so it must be 8, 9, which means none of these can have 8s and 9s on them, yet they must be consecutive with 6 and 7, so they have to be 4 and 5, which means this one can't be 4 and 5, and that has to be 8 and 9 again. Ta-da! That's seriously beautiful. Seriously beautiful. Now I want to say these cells have to be 1, 2 and 3, do they? Do they see 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and... Ooh, do they see all the digits? Well, that digit, whatever that is, let's make it purple. It certainly sees both flavours of orange. It sees this flavour of grey and this flavour of grey, but what does it... no, if those are the same, it doesn't see those. Bother. Right, so I don't think I can quite say that. Okay, sorry, I thought I was going to be able to get these digits down in terms of their optionality, but maybe I can't. There's a 6 in one of these, I'm suddenly noticing. Oh, I've got all these 7s to put in as well. I can do that now. So I've done all the 7s. Oh, lovely. Okay. Look, I can do better with 6s as well. There's a 6 in one of these 2 cells. And that's interesting, because how could this now be a 6? It can't be, because it would rule those 2 out because of the Knight's Move constraint. So that's not 6, which means this is 6. Oh, this is symmetrical. Right, so the 6 down here is down in one of those 2 squares. The 6 over here is in one of these 2 squares, and again, now this can't be 6, because it would rule a 6 out of box 9. So that's not 6, which means this is 6. Which means that 6... Oh, this is it. Now where is 6 in box 7? It can't go there, look, because of that 6. So it's ruled out of everywhere. Oh, hang on. I thought it was ruled out of this square when I just did my highlighting, but that's not true. Okay, maybe it can be in one of those 2 cells. Whoops. Yeah, I think maybe that's right, because I can't see a 6 leaning into box 7 and getting rid of anything, but now that's not 6, so this is 6. So I've now got... I've got 7 6s, and I've got an X-wing on 6s left. And my 7 arrow here is now not 1 6, so it's either 2 5 or 3 4. But to be 3 4, well, to be 3 4, it would have to be possible to still put 4s into these squares, which I think that is still an option either way round with a 4 in these cells. I think I can't assume, unless I can prove somehow. that there would have to be a 4 in, say, one of those two positions or one of these two positions. I don't see how I rule out 3, 4 along this arrow. Okay, so what is it then that I'm meant to be appreciating here? I wish I knew. Let me think. It could be. I've got nothing. I've got nothing here. It could be. Golly, I really I'm not seeing this at all. What? Okay, is it something to do with... yeah, okay, what about... I've thought of something. I've thought of something. There's no 6 on this one. Yeah, that's right. There's no 6 on this Renban, so this is another low Renban. A bit like its friend over here. So this has got to have... this is it. Right, good. This is it. We've understood, or I've understood it. There's a 2, 3 and a 4 on this Renban, but every cell along this Renban sees yellow. But if the Renban has a 2 and a 3 on it, you can't have yellow being 2 or 3, so yellow is 1. There we go. Oh, and the other thing about that that's interesting, of course, is that now we actually know what this line is, because it can't have a 1 on it. So it is 2, 3, 4, 5, which is quite interesting. These are the things that I find interesting anyway. So now, this is beautiful. Again, it's beautiful, because now that digit we know is a 2, 3, 4 and 5. I've now got a 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple in box 8, which means those squares are 8 and 9. Which makes me want to colour my 8s and 9s immediately. That's very tempting. Let me just think about that. Is that... I'm just going to see if I can see whether that's going to do anything. Well, actually it is. It gives me an 8 or a 9 here. Right, I am going to do that. Okay, so let's make this cell purple. You can see now that that the purple 8, 9 in this pair is this one. So I'm going to switch its colour to purple. Let's uncolour those for a second or two until we know which order they're in. But now this is grey, because it's not purple, and now grey has to go here by Sudoku, which means this has to be purple, which means this has to be grey, which means one of those squares is purple. I'm prepared to put that in. Purple. Right, here's something. Where is purple in box 9? Now the answer to that is I don't quite know, but I do know it's not on an arrow that adds up to 7, because purple is an 8 or a 9. So purple is in one of those two squares, which means purple is now here in box 6. So that's an 8 or a 9, which plonks purple very cutely into box 4, which means that purple... nearly. Purple's nearly restricted in box 1. I don't think I can do better than one of 3 places, though. I might be wrong about that, but I can't see how. And what about purple in box 7 then? That's not purple. So that's almost quite good, actually. I don't think I can quite fix my purplage, but I think we're down to one of 2 places. And I haven't studied greys yet, so let's go back to studying grey. What do we know about grey? Grey is not here, look, by Knight's move. So grey is in one of 2 places in box 1. Grey is in one of 2... So there's a grey 6. So because we've got the 6 in one of these, and the other one of these is grey, this is a 6, 8. Well, one of them's 6 and one of them's grey, which is 8 or 9. Actually, I will pencil mark that because that's giving me a very overt 6, 8, 9 triple in row 4. Grey. I don't think I can. Oh. No, I can. Okay, so grey in box. Grey has to be here now in box 6. Which means, oh, this is nice. So grey goes down there in box 9. Oh, this. Oh, I've done it. I've done it. I've done the puzzle. It's all done. It's all done. Nothing to see here. Okay, why do I suddenly think I've had an epiphany? Well, look, grey is in one of these 3 cells, but it's not here because that would rule out this cell from being grey. So grey's in one of those 2 cells. Now we should ask where grey goes in column 2, because it's ruled out of these. The fact that grey is in one of those rules it out of there. The fact that grey is in one of these rules it out of there. So grey has to be there. And the moment that becomes grey, look, well, loads of things happen. But firstly, let's think about the size of grey, which is 8 or 9 on an arrow. Well, if this is 9, this is a double-digit number. So grey is 8, which we can then flow around this grid. So this is not 9 now. So 9 becomes purple. Let's put that in wherever we find it. That must be 9 now because it must be a digit that's bigger than 8. So we can decolorify some of this, and that's a 1 now by maths. That means that cell seems to have to be 9 by colouring. So that's one of these is 8 now by grey. This 9 is ruling itself out of there, so that becomes a 9. How many 9s have I got? Well, I think I'm going to get all of them. That's now a 9 by colouring. So that's not purple. And I have got all the 9s. I haven't got all the 8s though. That's not a 1. That's not a 1. That's not a 1. Do we know whether there's a 1 on this? Oh, we don't know, look, but if there is a 1, it has to go there, because it's been ruled out of all the other cells. So there's definitely a 1 in one of those 2 positions, which means there's definitely, well, there's not a 1 there, that's clear. There's not a 1 there, so there's a 1 here, right. So 1 is there by Sudoku, which took the position of a 6, so that becomes 6. Which means that's 6, that's 8, and there we go, we get a bit more done. Let's tidy up our colouring. 6 is not grey, I don't know what colour 6 is, nothing. 6 is a nothing colour. Sorry, 6. And 1's a yellow, aren't they? So let's yellowify those. See if that sheds any light on the world. Yeah, it does. Okay, where does 1 go in this box? It can't be a knight's move away from itself, so that's the 1. Sorry, I could have got that before and just didn't. I overlooked the knight's move. So this is a 1 now, which means this gets uncoloured, that gets properly yellowed, that gets properly yellowed, that gets properly 1'd, and therefore fully yellowed. That and that are ruled out from being yellow, which means that is yellow. And I've done all the 1s all of a sudden. These have got to be a 2-3 pair. Ooh. Okay, look at... Okay, so those... Oh, this is done. There's a 7 arrow here with 2 1s on it. So these have to add up to 5 without using 1, so that's a 2-3 pair. Which means that's a 4 or a 5. It's different from... We might have to colour our 4s and 5s, I'm immediately thinking. Actually, I'm quite tempted to do that, because I can see that this is communicating between the flavours of 4 and 5 we've got going on in boxes 2 and 6. Let's see. We might not need that, but let's bear that in mind as certainly a possibility. I've not even looked at this arrow, which actually the circle of which can't be 6, 7, 8 or 9. So this is a maximum of 5. Oh, and a minimum of 5. This is done. Because the minimum value of those two cells is a 2, 3 pair, which add up to 5, and this cannot be greater than 5. So that's 5. That is a 2, 3 pair. That's not 2, 3. That's not 2, 3. We've got another 4, 5 pair here. Ah, and 4, 5 is on this Ren. Oh, we knew 4, 5 was on the Ren band once we'd knocked 1 off it. Sorry. But that we can't repeat a digit on a Ren band, so those all get adjusted. I can't see how to do that. Oh, look, this is a 4. And that's looking at this one. That's beautiful. So 5 and 4 go in. That's not 5 anymore, which means that's not 5 anymore. 2, 3 here see this cell, so that cannot be a 2 or a 3. This 5 sees that cell, so that can't be a 5. Now, what about this column? It's not got a 5 in it, so we can put 5 at the top. These squares have got to be 2, 3 and 4. What else can we do? I am conscious I've not done this arrow either, and that's got to be a 2 or a 3. No, it doesn't. There's a 4 here. What's going on? Ah, that's a 5. That's a 4. So that's a 4, that's a 5, that's a 4. We didn't need a colouring. This is still a 2 or a 3. So that square's got to be a 4. No, it can't be a 4. That must be a 5 because it sees the 4 here. So this is 2, this is 3, this is 2. That sees that by Knight's move, so the 2 and the 3 go in. Oh, this should be done and is 4, 5, 2. Can't repeat a digit on a Rem band, so that's not 2. That's also, oh, it's not 3 because of this, so that's 4, that's 4, that's 5, that's 3. That is a consecutive sequence. That all gets finished. 3 looks in here, forces this to be 2, this to be 2, this to be 3. That's a 3, therefore. I'm just checking whether I've got any 3s in the corner. I don't think I do. That's 3, that's 4 by Knight's move. That's 2, that's 3. I do! Go on! And that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Oh, that gave me some pleasure right at the end as well. I think that feels like it was right, doesn't it? Let's see. Yay! What a beautiful puzzle. Adem Jaziri, take a bow. You did have big boots to fill today, following up a sequence of just the most extraordinary puzzles I think we've ever seen on the channel. And you have delivered, my friend, because that was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. The way that the purple lines, well, the way they had to have 6s on was really cool. And that actually you could then put the 6s in. And then the thing I thought was absolutely stellar was that you had to keep these lines, like adjacent L's had to be utterly distinct in terms of their middle digits because of the fact that the Knight's move effect caused them to see each other. I mean, that was just a stunning step. And there were other stunning things going on as well. Yeah, the fact, this line down here had to be low, and therefore it had to have 2 and 3 on it, and that gave us the 1s. Yeah, that's really, really lovely. And I'm just suddenly realising I've not coloured in all my things, and people don't like it when I don't do that. So let me just, I'll do all the 4s and all the 5s as orange. The 3s, are any 3s coloured? No. Are any 6s coloured? No. So is it just 3s and 6s that are feeling a bit chromatically challenged today? I think so. And, oh, although I've got some funny reddening effect there. There we go. What a brilliant puzzle. Let me know how you got on. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.